Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. I thought in today's video I'd do a different background, see what it's like. Appreciate any feedback down below. I don't know whether the lighting's any better, the sound's any better, or if my normal setup's better. Any feedback is appreciated for further videos, but today's video I just thought I'd do off a whim. We're halfway through the year. There's been some fairly good films this year. I've not been wowed with a lot of films this year like I thought I would. I've not given many 5 stars out to films. A lot of films have underwhelmed me that I thought I was gonna really enjoy. Don't get me wrong, there have been some really good films in there, but not really many. A few that really stand out to me. You got The Iron Claw, which technically was last year. Furiosa stood out to me. Civil War stood out to me. Monkey Man, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. But other than that, there's not many that... There's some very good films out there. A lot of people really enjoyed Dune 2. Wasn't a huge fan. I respect it. Not a big fan of that world. Just me personally. But I know that it's a very well done, very good film. But I thought I'd go through some of my anticipated films for the rest of the year. Some of these haven't actually got date. Well, I say some. At the moment, 2 of these don't have solid dates. There's probably more that I've not got on this list because on IMDb, on my watch list, they've not even been put as 2024 yet, but they probably will come out this year. I've not dug really, really deep. I've only gone through what's dated this year in general. There's more than 10, so I'll just get cracked on because I don't want this video to be too long, because as I say, there's a few. And some that are quite under the radar films. I think there's some big ones, but some under the radar ones. So I'm going in release date order. So first up, on July the 25th, we have Deadpool and Wolverine. The only Marvel film to come out this year. I really enjoyed the first 2 Deadpool films. I really like the fact that they're bringing Hugh Jackman back supposedly one last time. I do think he'll probably turn up in Secret Wars, but for this collaboration with Deadpool, I've really liked both of the trailers so far. I like that we're supposedly getting quite a lot of cameos in it, and I just like the overall look of it, and I've never been disappointed with the Deadpool film yet. I'm hoping it's one of the first... Well, I say one of us. Like I say, there's been a few that have wowed me, but I'm hoping it really wows me. So yeah, that's July 25th. Next, we skip to the end of August, and a small, under the radar, I would say, horror film coming out called Cuckoo. I don't know if this is the date for England. That may just be the American date. But I've added it on here because it should probably come out here sometime this year as well. I saw the trailer for this one. It looked very twisted, shall I say. It looks a bit body horror-ish. It's about a young girl that goes to, I suppose it's like this retreat with her family. I think it's in like Switzerland or somewhere. And there's some shit going on. I think people are getting killed or something. Dan Stevens is in it. I really like Dan Stevens, especially when he's doing horror. And it just had a really good atmosphere to the trailer. There was some effective jump scares in the trailer. It just had a very eerie feeling. Another one that I should probably have added to this list, but I just completely forgot to because it's out in America this weekend, is Longlegs. Again, another one that looks really creepy. It's supposed to be a very good horror film. Nicolas Cage is supposed to be excellent in it. I've heard very good reviews from that. That, as I say, is out this weekend in America. I don't know the release date for the UK yet. So those are 2 horror films over the summer that are coming out that I definitely recommend checking out if you get to, because they look very good and they've had very good reviews so far. Next up is, I think it's a sort of a horror film, I think. It's coming to Netflix. It's called The Deliverance. It's coming on August the 30th. This is directed by, I'm trying to think of his name, Lee Daniels. Sorry, I don't know whether, is it a man or a woman? I don't know, I can't remember, but it's Lee Daniels. I know the director. They directed The Butler, which I think is a really good film. Precious, which I've not seen yet. I can't remember what the last film they did was. I think it was that Billie Holiday film, which I never watched. So I'm looking forward to this. It's got a great cast. Um, I think Monique, who was in Precious, is in this. Glenn Close is in this. Um, there's definitely other people in this, but I just can't remember. But it's a possession film. I really like possession films. It's about a family that gets possessed, and the social worker's got to come in to help them. I think Glenn Close plays the mother of this family. There's no trailer for it yet, but just on that premise alone, I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Next up, we skip right to the end of September. The only one that I thought stood out to me the most in September is called Wolves. This is directed by John Watts, who gave us the last last three Spider-Man films. And this is George Clooney, Brad Pitt play two fixers, so hitmen that clean up bad situations, and they're both called out onto the same contract, and they've got to learn to work together through this night and not die, basically. And it looks very funny, looks right up my street. We know they've got great chemistry together, they work really well together. So yeah, it's definitely one that's high on my list to watch. Next up is one that's not actually dated yet. It says on IMDb September, but there's not a specific date. I would say it's probably going to be September, October, but I don't know when exactly. And I'm not sure if it's Netflix or it's theatrical. I'm not sure who's distributing it. I would say Netflix, based on this filmmaker's previous films and television series. But the film in question is called The Life of Chuck. This is a new film directed by Mike Flanagan, who obviously did Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, is it The Midnight Club? That was one. And the last year, The Fall of the House of Usher. He did Oculus, Gerald's Game. He's done loads of stuff, loads of horror stuff. But I don't think this one's so much horror. It's a Stephen King adaptation, but I've heard it's more of a drama. I've heard from the actors involved that it's very, very sad. And I've just heard everyone that's been involved in it have just been really praising it and saying how great they think it is. It's Tom Hiddleston in the lead role. I think it's about a man. I want to say it's a bit like Benjamin Button, where it goes back and he's aging, not backwards, but it's about his life going backwards from when he dies to when he's something like that, I think. I'm not too sure, but it's got a great cast. There's a lot of people that are usually in Mike Flanagan's projects that are in it. I believe Mark Hamill's in it, Karen Gillan's in it, Chiwetel Ejiofor's in it, I think, as well. There's lots of people in it. I think Matthew Lillard's in it as well, if I remember rightly. So yeah, it's one that I'm definitely looking forward to checking out whenever it does come out. Next up in October, quite a few in October, 4 in October. Right at the start of October, October 4th, we have Joker, Folie à Deux. Really like the first one. I've only seen it the one time because it is quite a hard watch, but I will definitely be watching it again on 4K before the new one comes out. The addition of Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, I think, is excellent casting. The first trailer it hooked me. I love the way that they did it. It's supposed to be a musical. I love musicals, so what is not to love? If you like the first one, definitely check it out. If you've not seen the first one, if you're not into superhero films or comic book films, I still recommend checking it out because it's a great look at mental health. It's more of a, I suppose, a psychological thriller drama than anything else. So yeah, it's more accessible than most comic book films. So yeah, and then watch the new one if you like that. So yeah, that's Joker. And then on the 17th, there's actually 3 films coming out all in one go. The first one is called Brothers. This stars Josh Brolin, Peter Dinklage, Brendan Fraser, and Glenn Close, and is about basically, as the title suggests, 2 brothers who I think come home. It's a comedy, I believe, and they come home after a long time of not seeing each other. And that's all that I know about the film. I have put it on this list because of the cast. I mean, it's a fantastic cast. You've got Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage playing brothers, which is just crazy. Brendan Fraser in there, Glenn Close in there. Just a great cast, so I'm looking forward to that one. Another one coming out on the 17th is Flight Risk, which is Mel Gibson's new film, starring Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Dockery, and Topher Grace, about an US Marshal that's escorting a witness to witness protection to get some evidence from them, some information from them on a flight, and it turns out, it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, it's in the log line. It turns out the pilot, played by Mark Wahlberg, is actually a hitman sent to kill him. So yeah, very interesting, looks very tense, just looks like a very good watch. Mark Wahlberg is definitely playing against type in this, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking that one out. And the final one on the 17th of October is one of which the trailer came out today, and is one of the main reasons I decided to make this video, because I think it looks like a film that it's highly likely, if it goes right, it's going to be on my top 10 films of the year list, because it's exactly my type of film. The trailer had me, and that is a film called We Live in Time. It stars Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield, and is directed by John Crowley, who did Brooklyn. And it's a love story, basically. It's about two people who meet, and it's about their love. It's about their story, their life, over a period of 10 years. You go the past, the present, and the future. So when they met to when they had their first kid, and then something happens. I'm not going to say watch the trailer if you're interested. The trailer is very emotional. It really sets the tone, I think. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I knew it was coming, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. It is an A24 film, but I think Studio Canal are distributing it over here, and it's been announced for Toronto. I'm hoping it gets shown at the London Film Festival, because they show a few select films here in Bristol. I would imagine if it does get chosen, that will be one of the films that gets shown here, because they usually do those sorts of films. So yeah, I'm not going to waffle on, but if you like your romantic dramas, it's not comedy. There's probably bits of comedy in it. I would probably compare it to About Time or The Fault in Our Stars, that sort of thing. If you like those sorts of films, then go and watch the trailer, because you won't be disappointed. So that's everything for October. Next up, the last month, very busy month, November. Starting on November 8th, in which we get the third installment in the Paddington franchise, Paddington in Peru. The first two are some of the best family films ever made. I don't think anyone would argue with me on that point. They are regarded as that. I think a lot of people even think the second one's better than the first. Hugh Grant is excellent in the second one. Each one seems to have a fantastic villain. I mean, the first one had Nicole Kidman. She was excellent. You've got a great cast. Hugh Bonneville, Peter Capaldi's in it, Julie Walters, Sally Hawkins, who isn't in the new one. She's replaced by Emily Mortimer. In the new one, you've got Olivia Colman joining. You've got Antonio Banderas. I don't know why I said his name like that. So yeah, if you like the Paddington films, it's a no-brainer. November the 8th. Next up, 3 coming out on the 15th, 1 on Netflix, 2 in the cinema. The one on Netflix is called Back in Action, and I don't think this is going to be a good film. The reason it's on this list is because it's Cameron Diaz's first film in 10 years, so I'm just interested to see what her comeback film is like. It'd be nice to see her on screen again. It's an action comedy. Again, she's on this list quite a lot. It's got Glenn Close in as well. She's in 3 films this year. She's been very busy, and she's currently filming the third Knives Out film. So she's very, very busy at the moment. But yeah, it had probably one of the most troubling productions of recent times. Look up the production history on this. It is crazy. They had an unexploded bomb on the set. I think they got something they were ill or something, all of them, and they had to get sent home. Then obviously Jamie Foxx fell ill, so they had to shoot the last bits around him using a double, because he disappeared off the face of the earth for 4 months. Lots and lots and lots of problems, lots of money put into it. But it's also from the director of the Horrible Bosses films. Gives me a little bit of hope. Do I think it's going to be any good? Probably not. Do I think it'll be entertaining? Yeah, I think it'll be entertaining somewhat. So I'm looking forward to that one. Next up, we've got one of which the trailer came out yesterday, and that is Gladiator 2. I love the first one. I only watched it for the first time last year, and I just just loved it. Just loved everything about it. It is just one of those films for a lot of people that people just love, especially people that grew up with that film when it came out. But yeah, it looked really good. I don't know if it will be as good as the first one. It's unlikely to be as good as the first one, but we don't know. Look at Top Gun Maverick. Denzel Washington, he's good to be in it. I mean, he's a big draw. I really like Paul Mescal. I think he's really good. Pedro Pascal, Connie Nielsen as well from the original. I think the other originals that are coming out, I think Djimon Hounsou's in it, I think. I know he's rumoured, I don't know whether that's confirmed. And Derek Jacobi, who was one of the... I don't know what he was. He wore one of the cloak things, the white cloaks. I don't know what you call them. Why has that gone out of my head? I want to say Pope, but it's not Pope. I don't know. You know what I mean. Cardinal? No, I don't know. But he's in it as well. I'm baffling on that. If you like the first one, it's a no-brainer, really. And the final film coming out on the 15th of November is a film called Here, which I have been absolutely dying to see since it was first announced, for the main reason I'm wearing an appropriate t-shirt. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis, who did this wonderful film that's on my t-shirt. Also stars Tom Hanks and Robin Wright of Forrest Gump fame. And it's written by Eric Roth, who wrote Forrest Gump. All we need now is for them to announce that Alan Silvestri is scoring the film, and it's basically a spiritual sequel to Forrest Gump for me, which I'm happy with. It looks good. It looks weird because it is set in one room over the course of a long time, and there's a lot of de-aging in it, and the de-aging in the trailer, I wouldn't say it looked off, because that's unfair, because it's still quite a while until it's out. It's not probably finished. It looks different, I will say, but I am definitely in for it, and I will definitely be watching it. Then on the 22nd of November, we have two. One is called Blitz. This is another one that's been on my radar since it was announced, because it is Steve McQueen's next film. Steve McQueen, director of Shame. He did another one before Shame. Is it called Hunger? I'm sure it had Michael Fassbender in as well. Then he did 12 Years a Slave. Then he did Widows, which I liked, but it's probably his weakest. And then he did the Small Axe films a few years ago, which were really well received. So high hopes for this one. Saoirse Ronan in the lead role. You've got, who else is in it? Stephen Graham's in it. I know that. Harris Dickinson's in it. Kathy Burke's in it. Paul Weller. Weird choice, but he's in it. If you like music, if you like Paul Weller. I'm sure there are other people in it that I can't remember, but it's set during the war. That is literally all I know about it. I've seen set photos. Not really given much about the plot, but I'm going to watch it regardless. Another one, that is the first film that's been announced for the London Film Fest. I think that's pretty much guaranteed to be shown here, so I will definitely be getting my ticket for that. Excuse me. So that's Blitz on the 22nd, and the other film on the 22nd is another A24 horror film called Heretic. I didn't know much about this. I knew that Hugh Grant was in it. That was pretty much it. I didn't really know anything else. I watched the trailer a few weeks ago. I thought, right, I'm in. I'm sold. Basically, it's about these two, I think they're Mormon girls of a religion. Two girls of a religion going around a town trying to sell their religious viewpoints to people. And they knock on the door of Hugh Grant's character. He invites them in. And it turns into like a sort of cat and mouse horror thriller. He won't let them out their house. They're locked in. But his house is not what it seems. And it looks crazy. Watch the trailer if you've not seen it. It definitely surprised me. And it had a great use of the song The Air That I Breathe In. Which is a great song, and it really used it well, I think. And I love when trailers do that, because it helps sell the film even more if it gave it a more of an eeriness to it. So yeah, that's Heretic. Two more. The last one that's actually dated is Wicked, which is coming out on the 24th of November. If you've not seen the stage show, this isn't going to be for you. You won't know what you're going into. If you haven't seen the stage show and you watch the trailer, you're going to think, that looks like crap. But that is exactly what it's supposed to look like. I think it looks excellent. It's supposed to be cheesy, and the trailer shows that. It's supposed to be really camp. There's a lot of outlandish singing, a lot of really cheesy dialogue, and it's quite intense at some points towards the middle and the end. But yeah, the trailer basically just shows what we're gonna get. You know, if you've seen the stage show, what you're gonna get. And before the trailer I was in, I knew I was gonna watch it, so that had to be on my list. But if you like musicals, I'd say still give it a shot. If you didn't like the trailer, you thought that looks bad, give it a shot, especially if you like The Wizard of Oz, because I say give it a shot. Maybe if you're not too sure, wait until reviews, and if the reviews are bad, don't go and watch it. If the reviews are good, go and watch it. That's generally how most people go off of watching films anyway. But yeah, that's Wicked, and the final film on my list is one that's not been dated yet. I believe it's premiering at Venice. It is Luca Guadagnino, however you say his name, newest film, and that is Queer, starring Daniel Craig. Now, this is down as 2024, but I wouldn't be surprised if this came out early next year, purely because we've just had Challengers, which is the only reason I've put Queer on my list. Before Challengers, I hadn't seen any of his films. None of his films interested me at all. They just weren't up my street at all, any of them. I love Challengers. It's, again, probably a standout of this year so far. Queer was on my radar. Wasn't one that I was particularly really excited about. But it's got Daniel Craig in. And he is very selective with his roles. So I'm very interested to see what it's like. I know it's set in the 40s in Mexico, about a writer. It's basically a gay love story. So it's not going to be for everyone, but I have to see a trailer first. I'm sure it's going to be great. He's literally, as of, I believe yesterday, already started filming another film, Luca Guadagnino. He's a very busy director. He's just started filming a film called After the Hunt, I think it's called, with Julia Roberts. So that's one that's definitely going to be on my list for next year. But yeah, Queer. If you liked his previous films, then you're probably going to want to watch this. But yeah, that's my list. That's everything. Just thought I'd do a short video. I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in this. It's gone on much longer than I had intended it to go on for, so I apologies about that. But I want to get some films out there that people may not have heard of. I mean, there are some big ones on there. There are a few big ones on there that people have definitely heard of. But there's some there that I've heard of and I've been excited for quite some time. And now they're not too long from coming out. So I'll do another one of these at the end of the year for like general next year. If I do, it will probably be longer than this because there's going to be double the amount of films out next year. And I think next year is going to be a huge year. This year obviously has been impacted by the strike, so that is why there are less films than normal out this year. But hopefully next year goes back to normal. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm not going to babble on anymore. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and turn your notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. I get back to anyone that takes the time to leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of this background. Does it work better? Do you prefer my normal setup? Tell me down below. What do you think to these types of videos? Talking more about films instead of showing my collection. Do you like them? If you do, I'm happy to do more depending on how many people watch this. Or I'll just stick to doing like collection videos if that's what you enjoy. Any feedback's appreciated. But that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.